I'll never forget my good friend from Northeast India who I had the privilege of training many years ago when we lived in Asia. His prayer and worship posture was so intense. Man, he completely redefined passion and commitment. Took it to a level that I'd never seen before. Now, this guy was actually destined to become the next king or chief in his village, but instead went on to Nepal to lead numerous church plants with a team in the Himalayan hills. He's asking me to return this year and help train his workers. And then there's that group of pastors in the Philippines. I certainly won't forget them either. At the end of a week of training, they insisted on taking me out for their favorite cuisine. And guess what dessert was? Balut. Plain and simple, we're talking about an almost fully developed duck embryo that is boiled alive and eaten out of the shell. Let me just say that I only managed that one by washing it down with a Coke. Now, one of those pastors has also asked me to return in the next year. And then there's Africa. The last 3 years of traveling to that continent with my children have really fired me up about what God can do when men and women are devoted to the kingdom of God as disciples and disciple makers following the servant leadership model of Jesus. Listen, we're seeing a movement begin there right now. These folks are discipling others who are discipling others who are discipling others who are, well, you get the point. Now, wouldn't you like to get in on some of this? I'd like to invite you to join us in making Jesus famous to these nations, to these peoples. 15 for 2015, which is 15 minutes of prayer, 15 notes of encouragement throughout the year, and $15 a month. Join us in developing leaders who will storm the gates of hell by starting movements of disciple makers. You can join us through 15 for 2015. We need your prayers, encouragement, and financial support. See, traveling and ministering can sometimes be difficult, tiring, and discouraging. It takes a lot of resources, and especially when I take my children. And why would I do that? Well, there's several reasons. One, a number of years ago, I made a commitment to my family to not be gone from them more than 2 to 3 nights at a time. And that's easy to do when I'm speaking here in North America. But when it comes to overseas travel, I'm usually gone for several weeks. So our family has agreed that a win-win for all of this is for me to take my children along with me on these overseas trips. Another reason for taking them along is that they gain a heartbeat for what God is doing around the world. It's part of their discipleship, their character shaping, and their journey toward life purpose. And then last, but certainly not least, I just love having my children join me on these God adventures. They're a great encouragement to me personally. So would you consider 15 for 2015? That's 15 minutes a month praying for our family, 15 notes of encouragement throughout the year via text, email, or social media, and just $15 a month toward our travel expenses. 15 for 2015. And to thank you for your support, I'd like to send you a 2015 personal leadership plan that will help you focus in the coming year. Now, I've designed this very practical self-leadership tool to help you choose some learning resources, set some stretch goals, and meet with key people who can encourage you in your journey. So click on donate, and after a simple process, you'll be redirected to that very practical resource as a download. So join us. Join us as we join God in making His name famous among the nations, both here in North America and beyond. 15 in 2015. And thank you in advance for your generosity and partnership in the kingdom.